Even with a title's achievements in narrative design and experimental interactive storytelling, sometimes a fan theory regarding said title is just better. Sometimes. It can explain where a forgotten character disappeared to, how long-standing rivalries actually came about, or why a given plot hole isn't really a plot hole at all. In short, fan theories are the continuation of any property's narrative, except instead of only a handful of writers, we've got the entire globe's populace working for the rest of time. We, the geeks of the world, have a tendency to overthink things more than anyone else, resulting in all manners of twists and reworked ideals when it comes to, in this case, gaming's biggest properties. Some of these make total sense, some of these are utter bollocks. Sound off below as to which side of the fence you're on. I'm Rich from What Culture, and these are 10 mind-blowing video game fan theories that change everything. Number 10. Batman makes Harley Quinn miscarry. Batman Arkham City. Well, we're kicking this one off dark. This one won't set the tone for the rest of the list though. Or will it? The theory goes that when Brucey first meets Harley in Arkham City, she's pregnant, which is proved by the Easter eggs in both the main game and in the Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC. Harley immediately lunges at Batman, only for him to counter and slam her down, right onto her abdomen. The Revenge DLC supports this, showing the Scarface doll all made up in a crib to represent a child Joker, as many now negative pregnancy tests litter the room. In the standard canon, it all tends to be framed as a combination of the Joker's death and the aforementioned false positive providing motive for Harley's state of mind, but factor in this theory, and Gotham just got a whole lot darker. Number 9. Companion cubes are filled with human remains. Portal. I'm sure we all know by now that GLaDOS, the queen bee of cake and potato, murdered the employees of Aperture Science with a deadly neurotoxin prior to the events of the first Portal. But a theory has come about as to why there are no bodies littering the chambers when we first traverse the facility as Chell. Surely since everybody is dead, there'll be no one to bury or dispose of the bodies. Well, according to this theory, GLaDOS found a way. User Psyomasm on the Escapist forums notes, with everyone having died at nearly the same point, save for test subjects who are activated over time, there would be no one to properly bury them or humanely dispose of them, so in that regard, the cubes provide an efficient manner of storage and retain a purpose beyond this. GLaDOS herself, when introducing you to the companion cube, states that if the cube says anything, you should ignore it. The Portal 2 Lab Rat comic also features the cube talking, further cementing the idea that the cubes were people. Maybe even after conversion or storage, we still hold some sentience. Let's hope that cake wasn't a small family or something. Number 8. The Master Hand is a child or a person. Super Smash Bros. Is Smash Bros. An all-encompassing product of fan service, or something all-round sinister? Thanks to game theory for this one, the idea centers around the Master Hand not just being a random inclusion, but a child playing with their toys. I mean, the original title's opening shows an inanimate Mario given life to fight, so surely this makes a smidgen of sense. By the time we get to Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii, we know that a character named Taboo was controlling the hand all along. Now, could this be an on-the-nose nod at an actual taboo? A societal comment on teenagers and adults playing with figurines? Amiibos didn't surface till 2014, so surely it can't be referencing them. Or is it referencing creator Masahiro Sakurai's aging will and attitude towards the franchise? First, he's happily playing with his toys, N64 Smash, but then he's looked down upon and battles the evil glove, the Wii U and 3DS Smash. Then you become the new Master Hand. It's a Toy Story 3 hand-me-down tale. It's also a little too deep for a game in which you go all Donkey Kong on Zero Suit Samus. I'll leave that image with you. Number 7. All Ubisoft games are in the Assassin's Creed universe. Remember how before Assassin's Creed, vision modes weren't really a thing? The closest thing you had to that was probably the scan visor in Metroid Prime, and even that served a less polarizing purpose. Nowadays, they're in everything from Hitman to The Witcher 3, but what if there's a canon-related reason? What if Sam Fisher, the Prince, Far Cry's Jason and AJ, and Watch Dogs' Aiden and Marcus are all descendants of Templars and Assassins? After all, we all know that through Black Flag, the world of Assassin's Creed is our own. Connect the dots through various Easter eggs across the games and boom, one big shared universe, all starting with the original Assassin's Creed back in 2007. Number 6. The Indoctrination Theory, Mass Effect 3. Possibly the most infamous fan theory in gaming, those who completed Mass Effect 3 needed something to convince them that their 200 plus hours of gameplay actually amounted to something. Thus, the Indoctrination Theory was born. It goes that during the final stretch, as Shepard is charging headlong into the Crucible to stop the Reaper invasion once and for all, every event that happens after he gets hit by that fateful Reaper beam is actually inside his own head. Why? Because all the subsequent arduous stuff he comes up against is a manifestation of the Reapers attempting to indoctrinate him. After all, following Cerberus' resurrection at the start of Mass Effect 2, they are half-synthetic, meaning the ancient space race's superpowers could, somehow, infect his conscious once he was within close proximity of their ships. Number 5. You're the villain. The spider is protecting its world. Limbo. Developer Playdead have established themselves with signature macabre style. Yet 2010's Limbo was the first to truly walk the grey line between light and dark. Who are you? The game ends with you finding a character players assume to be your sister, but what if she was just a character trying to flee from you? Think about it. Nothing in this title establishes you as a hero. The large spider inverted commas boss could easily be the protector of its realm, and you are simply the spanner in its works. What if this journey is you lashing out over the death of your supposed sister? We see 2 fly-covered graves on the main menu, so whatever happened to these 2 characters before they ended up here couldn't have been pleasant. Number 4. You probably killed Nathan Drake, Uncharted 3, and The Last of Us. An oldie but a goldie if you count 2011 as old. Easter eggs in Uncharted 3 show us that Naughty Dog were working on the core idea of The Last of Us 2 years prior to its release. In the opening level of Uncharted 3, you can find a copy of The Overseer bearing the headline, "Scientists are still struggling to understand deadly fungus." If we assume this is less of an Easter egg and more of a confirmation that Uncharted and The Last of Us take place in the same universe, Nate and chums would have most likely turned into zombies when the outbreak began. So for those of us who've played The Last of Us, chances are we've blown Nathan Drake's head clean off without even realising. Number 3. The drinkable healing blood is menstrual. Bloodborne. Do I have to elaborate on this one? I mean, it's all there in the title. Fine. Following talk of being born of the blood and made of the blood by various leaders in Bloodborne, it was very clear that life and rebirth were in Hidetaka Miyazaki's mind. As you traverse through the Victorian streets, various female members of the Healing Church give you a constant supply of blood, until one becomes pregnant and stops. Not convinced? The Blood of Adela item reads, "The Healing Church nuns are chosen for their merit as vessels for blood and groomed as blood saints," and you can find corpses with what's known as menses cages atop their heads. Lastly, a final area in the game is titled The Nightmare of Mensis, and you'll tackle a boss called the Mensis Brain too. Oh, and did I mention that mensis is Latin for menses, or as we know it, menstruation. Yikes. Number 2. The ex-cop is a figment of Max's imagination. Max Payne 3. Rockstar's take on the dive and shoot Max Payne formula doesn't always get the recognition it deserves, but being the plot-spinning maestros they are when they're away from GTA, there's actually a pretty interesting insight into Max's mind. He's at the end of his tether during the 3rd entry in the series, drinking profusely to get to sleep, addicted to painkillers, and barely does anything day to day but kill people. Similar to Jules' Monday to Friday 9 to 5 then, really. This theory suggests that the overweight cop you bump into numerous times across Max Payne 3 is in Max's head, and is actually how Max sees himself if his life hadn't been consumed by revenge and alcohol. All context is disregarded when in conversation with him as he talks about his family and holidays. He never leaves the various spots you find him in, remaining more than happy to simply reflect on Max's psyche. And number 1, the 44 franchise-encompassing Nintendo Universe theory. Our top spot is for a both brilliant and totally insane theory on how almost every Nintendo franchise can be connected. The original, which you can read over on the Fan Theories wiki, totals over 7,000 words. I won't read it all here, of course, but I'll give you some of the best bits. The creatures of Animal Crossing are super evolved advanced Pokemon who've started to breed with more regular animals and over time developed a language and a kinship with humans. Star Fox's adventures are the result of this, eventually seeing half-human, half-animal hybrids war with one another before jetting off to look for alternate planets and places to survive. The Mario brothers live underground in pipes and sewer works, becoming what we'd label as plumbers, before warping up to the surface and tackling Bowser, who repeatedly kidnaps one high-ranking human princess due to all of the aforementioned factional warfare. Super Smash Bros.' master hand is you, the gamer, the omnipotent god of this entire thing, picking and choosing which characters to clash and play with for no real reason, just because you feel like it. I mean, it all sounds like complete bollocks, but hats off to whoever went through the time and effort to put all this together in the first place. And that's our list. What do you think of these theories? Not convinced? Let us know in the comments section below. More outrageous theories and head-scratching lists await over on whatculture.com, and don't forget to follow What Culture Gaming on Twitter. I'm Rich from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.
Oh, wasn't that something? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also the people who made this lovely video, they're appearing right here. But if you're thinking to yourself, I want to see more content, Jules, then why not look above my head, as there probably is some. I don't know. I can't see it. Until next time.